Technology is transforming conservation by providing faster, more effective tools to address human-wildlife conflict, and with rapid climate change and population growth, the conflict is inevitable. And to dissect more on this matter, we are joined by Gideon Haingura, a researcher in GIS and wildlife technology. Welcome to the program, sir. We have had you here before, so I would say welcome again on the program.
Thank you for the invitation, and morning to the viewer also.
Yeah. So this time around, Mr. Haingura, we are looking at the deployment of technology. We are looking at the tools that are being used in the prevention of human-wildlife conflict. So what are those? Are they accessible? How can, or just to give us a detailed explanation as to how the public or the people who find themselves, the communities who find themselves in human-wildlife conflict can use?
Yeah, thank you for the questions. Like last time we spoke about the conflict itself. So this time around we are going to look at the technology used to prevent and also to monitor this human-wildlife conflict. So they specifically speak about the technology that are mostly used for the conflict itself, because there are a lot of technology out there that can be used to manage and monitor the wildlife. Yes. So for the conflict itself, the most common technology that are used in Namibia, we have like GPS collars. So these are electronic devices that are placed on the animal just to record their movement and their behaviors. So that allows us to inform the people's its movement. And also there's also remote sensing tools that are being used to monitor the movement of wildlife, including the elephant and also the lions. In that cases, we also have these things that's called Earth Rangers. Earth Rangers is sort of like an app. So where it gives you the automated alerts of the movement of animals, and also it's sort of like you are able to know where are the elephants. The second tool that I used also to prevent the conflict in the affected area, for example, you also have electric fence. So those fence allows the elephant or lions to enter the crop or the farms, so that in that way people are able to save their crops and the livestock. And the third ones also that you might be ahead is like drones. Drone surveillance is also common. With drones, you are able to see what's happening, where are these elephants or where are the lions. People are able to get these automations, because everything now is like artificial intelligence, so automated.
Now, Mr. Haingura, this technology and the different devices that you have explained, are they specific only for the use on the animals that you have, the wildlife that you have mentioned, or can the communities, especially the affected communities, use also for other types of wildlife?
So because you are looking at the conflict itself, so the conflict can be like, so I was just speaking about the major animal that are involved in the conflict. So electric fence can also data a lot of things. So including even the baboons, if they are coming with the electricity, they won't able to come. So this technology is actually it can be used for diverse species. So you can also collar the leopard. They can able to track its movement and also give early alert to the community.
So, Mr. Haingura, the use of technology in general requires one to be skilled. And I can only imagine for this type of devices that communities need to have the know-how.
Yes.
Are there training sessions with regard to how they should collar the wildlife, or how they should install the fence or so on? Or is that left to the experts, the rangers and so on?
So that's an important point that you have brought across, because in the past, so what we call like a smash and grab scientific, people have been always coming like all the way from Europe. They come to the community, they do their research, and they go back without engaging the community. So that have brought a lot of distrust among the community and the researchers. So for us to make sure that everything's workable, we need to involve the communities. So these technologies are translate in a way that the communities are able to also to grasp. So they are able to install them, they are able to gather the information, to collect the data, or even to monitor or maintenance. Because at the same time, you are expecting Windhoek, you are staying in Windhoek. So who's going to collect information for you? You can have automation, but still the technology requires the human input. So you need those members, you have to train them, you have to engage with them for them to also to be confident, even to protect, or even to thief can come and steal it. So you need to empower this community to feel that they are part of the solutions that you are working on.
So while you are empowering the community, while you are involving them to be part of the solutions and so on, the language aspect also comes into play.
Yes.
Here in our country, as diverse as it is, where the communities find themselves with the wildlife, some of them may not even know what the devices are called in the local languages. So is that aspect also catered for?
So because if you look at the technology is this is something new.
Yes.
Yeah. So unfortunately, those are the challenges that we face. So most of the technology when they comes, they are in English. Yeah, they are coming from outside there. So like us now, the implementers, local implementer, we have to do our best to able to translate some of these names. But it's difficult to get a name like camera trap. How will you call it now? So those are the issue now we face now with the community. But there's always the room of engagement and also to hear from the community. You might also use some different names the community they are happy with, because some of the names, they might be not relevant to them, or they might be not good traditional. So you have to have those room of change and adapting to the community what they need, because they are the first stakeholders. So if they are not happy with that technology, you are not going to implement anything at all. Yes.
So, Mr. Hengura, as much as all these are aimed at preventing human-wildlife conflict to the benefit, how do you ensure that it's to the benefit of the both parties, which is you've just briefly touched on the benefits that it brings to the community, what it would mean, but then the wildlife part of it, wildlife also being protected by Namibia's constitution. How do you ensure as researchers, as people using this technology, different devices on the animals, that the animals are not harmed during the process?
Yes, yeah. You know, like they have been in the past, because in the past there were a lot of careless experiments without following the procedure and ethic. So nowadays, for you to get a research, to do a research, certain research, you need to get approval from the government, for the Minister of the Environment, or the National Commission for Science, things like that. So by doing so, you are required to be responsible that these animals are well taken care. Anything's happen, if there's an accident, you have to note it. Otherwise, you will face the issue of like where your license will be cancelled, and there will be backlash from other society, scientific, because at the current moment, especially in environments, researchers, they are very sensitive with the animals. They have to make sure that whatever that have to be placed on the animals, it have been proven, it have gone all the experiment trial, so it's well. Otherwise, if there is the tools, the instruments are not really it's up to standard, you are not going to be allowed to use those certain. I have seen a lot of tools that we get. Sometimes they just get there. We never the NAMRA or other agents in Namibia. They won't actually authorize to use them there. So it's nice, but it's not up to standard to the policy, or maybe it's not ethical, because unfortunately there are some those the equipment that are actually in early stage of experiment. They are not yet approved. They might be approved in China
in their country of manufacturing,
but Namibia also have its own laws and regulations.
Have we had maybe a recent case whereby an animal has died during the process?
So I haven't really come across with that, but I can tell you there are some incidents where some of the colleagues that have involved like collaring certain animals. So where the animal, when was shot, during the event of collarings, the animal fell somewhere in the sharp object, and it unfortunately died in the process. So there are some cases like that, but you are required to report these cases and make sure that the investigation also will come to see how did you handle these things when the collaring was done. Because it's at the end of the day, it's not only that we want to use technology to save the environment, but we have to be sure that this technology, they are ethically safe and proven to be used.
And is that the same message that is translated to the communities, directly affected communities?
100%.
So they are also trained on how to handle the wildlife.
Yeah, because like for instance, like when you go in, when you're doing the interviews, sometimes we are looking at the baselines. So before you do that, you have to engage with the traditional community. There have to be meetings. They have to ask you. They are actually allowed. The conservancy, the conservancy. These guys are well educated. They know all these things. They won't really just allow you to just camp from anywhere, just to do anything you want. So that's a good part of Namibian policies. They are a lot of people understand them.
When it comes to environmental laws of the country, so are there any other strategies that you would love to share with regard to the use of technology in conservation in general?
So, like like we have, like what we have spoken here, technology can actually cannot be a standalone solutions. So there have to be other adaptive measurement that have to be included. So there have to be issue of engagement, the public engagement, they have to come abroad. The policymaker, they have to come abroad. For instance, the issue of like Starlink. So the policy, we are not yet there to allow it. But you see, those are the issues. You have to understand that before you bring certain technology, those technology are really allowed in that country or not. Otherwise, it's going to be a waste of time and resources, because this technology, they require a lot of money.
Expensive,
and also, what's important also, the training. The training should be easy and simple to the community itself, not to you as an implementer. The affected community should be involved in that procedure.
So the affected communities are critical to the entire process.
Yes.